Hey, free mind, you crazy for this. Soulful. It's like our responsibility to make us feel something. You know, to make people feel what we feeling. Hey, yo.
I have to start this show off with a note of appreciation for anyone out there that is a grade school teacher, has been a grade school teacher, thought about being a grade school teacher. You are doing just amazing work. If you are in that profession. I just spent the last 20 some odd minutes reading with my boy. He's an incredible reader. But the level of fidgeting and just the insertion of words and the deletion of other words, I don't know how teachers do it. You all have so much patience that I do not possess. Believe it or not, this is the Ready, Set, Go preview show. This is a show where we come together weekly and talk about comics. We talk about what is going to be coming out for my channel over the week ahead. And we talk about news, we talk about current events, we talk about all kinds of stuff, but we generally have a fantastic time as we fellowship with one another. And I will tell you that 3 of the 4 highest priced comics of all time have sold in the last 8 months. We're going to talk about that along with some other stuff, including the fact that I'm going to give away a really awesome slab that was provided to me by Shayna. She sent me Black Panther issue number 25. We're going to give that book away as an AOK in a few moments. I definitely want to encourage you guys to stay tuned. Let me go to the chat real quick. Shout out. I think I saw Bulldog in here. Bulldog got 4 of those DC books on the wall back there. Dad was a grade school teacher for over 30 years, came home to me and my 4. You know what? I feel very bad for him. I'm going to be completely honest. The man had to be a saint. He had to be a saint walking on earth to basically teach kids at school and then come home to a classroom full of kids at home. My wife and I had an agreement back when we first started dating. Our rule was 2 and out, and we have remained committed to that. I'm a big fan. I don't play a lot of sports. I don't know a lot of sports, but I do know that if you play man-to-man, you're good. If you play a zone defense, you will get scored on. Hence, 1 man, 1 wife, 2 kids. That's it. Man-to-man defense, pick your man and take them out. That's all I'm going to say to you on that note. I was a high school teacher for 9 years and then went back. Yeah, hey, brother, I'm going to be honest with you. The billable hour is a monster, okay? The billable hour is a monster, but so are other people's kids. I completely get I completely get your abandonment of that trade, brother. I completely get it. What is that, David? How you doing, brother? Welcome to the live stream, brother. We definitely appreciate you. Scrolling through some of the comments here, seeing who else is here. The giveaway. We're gonna do a giveaway. My man, Climbing Comics. It is good to see you, my friend. The Fellowship of the Gibbons. Gotta love it. Chris Bigger's up in here. Mark is here. My man, Speaking of Randy Resnake, do you see the artwork? Do you see that thumbnail? Here it is. This is the art print that my man right there, Randy Resnake, put together for me. This is in this month's Swoldier supply box. We are of the community, people. The things that we do here are honestly part of the comic book community. We literally tap into people to be guests on the show, to create art for us that we then give back to the community. Definitely appreciate you. Matt Attack is up in the house. My mom is a teacher. Your mother's a saint. Okay, Matt, I don't know you, but your mom's a saint. I don't know her either, but I'm going to tell you, man, the last little bit has been rough. It has been rough the last 20 minutes. I would rather come up in here and hang out with you people any day of the week. Shout out. She hooked us up. Well, technically, She hooked all of us up. She hooked you guys up with a 9.6 that is going to be given away here momentarily. She hooked me up with a 9.8 of the exact same thing. Hung on the wall for a couple of videos. Definitely appreciate it. Let us not forget about the school. Brother, I'm going to be honest with you. School bus drivers, I mean, I have a lot of respect for you too, but you get to drop them off. You pick them up, you drop them off. And let's be honest. Some of you hit the bumps on purpose. Let's be completely honest. I've been on the school bus. I know what I'm talking about. Do they have seatbelts on school buses yet? I need to know that. I need to know. After teaching all day, I come home to my kids. Oof, Steve, you're a saint, okay? I would not do it. I would not be able to survive. I'm going to just be completely honest with that. Never be outnumbered, man. I'm going to tell you, I messed up. I got 2 female dogs. We're outnumbered. My boy and I, we are outnumbered in my house. That was not a smart move on my part, but it is what it is. Brother, I am singing their praises literally as we speak. And I'm going to be completely honest, brother. When my kids were in California, we did that thing at home where they used to watch it on the iPad. It was miserable. I was miserable. I was so unhappy because they were always there. I love my children. My wife loves my children, but they were always here. So nice when they go away to be elsewhere. I get to appreciate them. And I think I'm also a better father when I have a break. I'll be completely honest about that. Frog Brawler, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Some of us started on zone defense. Chuck, I met your family. You're getting scored on, Chuck. I'm going to be completely honest with you, brother. And I do enjoy you, but I met your family. You're getting scored on, Chuck. And technically, you are a teacher as well. So you're definitely getting scored on. Scrolling through the comments here. I don't even like Logan. I am not going to comment on that, Bulldog. But I do appreciate you being a Patreon member, brother. I absolutely appreciate that. Shout out to Dustin R. Dustin R. signed up for Patreon as well. Definitely appreciate him. And if you guys came in a little late, 3 of the 4 highest priced comics of all time have been sold in the last 8 months. We're going to talk about that and a bunch of other stuff. Let me give you guys a quick rundown of some of the content that is going to be coming out from the channel this week. I just saw my man Dave is up in here. Phil Tastic up is in here. Tina, the OG, is here. Liger, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Ricardo is up in here. My partner Doug is always in the house. Matt Woods, it's good to see you. Joe, how you doing, brother? There was one other person I wanted to shout out. There it is. My man Kingpin Comics, always hooking me up with the dope graphics. If you guys have some graphic needs, get in line behind me. Kingpin is the man. Let me put that back up there. I took it off too soon. Where to go? Scrolling. There it is. If you need graphics, this guy is super talented. I sometimes come to him with some very nebulous ideas, and he makes magic happen for me. I definitely appreciate you. Not in all school buses. Thank you. That's super helpful because I honestly don't know. Seatbelt would take all the fun out of the bond. See what I'm saying about school bus drivers? Man. All right, let me give you guys a rundown of some of the content. Last week, we were hoping to drop the 10 most submitted books into CGC list. That video has been delayed. There have been some challenges with pulling that data for what CGC calls the Regie report. I am very hopeful that we're going to be able to get that data pulled and I'm going to be able to get that video created, but it is not yet ready. So stay tuned for that a little bit later this month. But I do have some good content that's going to be coming out this week. One of the videos I'm going to be talking about how to win the speculation game. And it hit me that I had not created a video talking about how to win the game of speculation. Like I have my own strategy that I've shared with you guys called the Blue Ocean strategy. I think Doug and I do a really good job of trying to bring to the surface Blue Ocean books that are like $4, couple of bucks that you can pick up or look for in your collection or in a long box somewhere and get them for 50 cents. And then magic gets made. That is the Blue Ocean strategy. But I had not created a video in which I talked about how to win the spec game overall. I fixed that with this video that will come out this week. In addition to that, I'm also going to be giving you some secrets to making the hobby work on any budget. That was a question that I received recently from somebody. I spoke about it in a live stream. I decided to create a full-blown video in which I provided some tips and pointers on how to make the hobby work regardless of how much money you might actually have to play with. I think it's a good video. I hope you guys will enjoy it. Another video that I'm dropping this week is on the fact that I believe that it's okay to overpay for comics. And as you would imagine, that is a very broad statement. And I'm probably going to put some texture to it in this video that will be coming out this week. In addition, we will have the Comics Today show on Wednesday. I have no clue what I'm going to talk about, but I'm going to talk about something, and I hope you will tune in for Comics Today on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In addition to that, we're also going to be dropping a podcast on Monday at 10 a.m. Shout out to my brother Rizal for making that magic happen for me, and he has been doing so for several months, and I absolutely appreciate him taking a little bit of pressure off of me when it comes to the podcast. I probably would have stopped it by now had it not been for my brother. So shout out to him. Shout out to Patreon for putting me in a position to have some money so that I can pay my brother to do the podcast for other people to enjoy. I keep the money moving around. Shout out to Patreon. And again, Dustin R. and Bulldog as two of the most recent Patreon members. I absolutely appreciate both of you guys. Want to give a shout out real quick before we get to the giveaway of this book right here. Before we get to the giveaway of that book right there, I want to give a shout out to Keston. Keston sent me a book today, and he sent me a wonderful card. Oh, I did not see that until literally there was a note. You cannot see it. There you go. There's a note. Let me see. Okay. I think I can read this. Okay. It says, "Dear Reggie, thanks so much for visiting our class. The students were thrilled to have a big time YouTuber visit." No, just a small YouTuber. And they wanted to know about you. As a small token of our appreciation, please accept this Pro Education Comic ASM 185. This one has Peter graduating from college. There you go. Peter Parker graduating from college. Just came from Keston. A few weeks ago, I had the privilege of speaking to his middle grade school class. They brought me in via live stream. I talked to the kids. I showed them some comics. I talked with them about the day in the life of what it's like to be a YouTuber and the fact that this is something that I do on the side, but I actually have a career. The kids asked me all kinds of inappropriate questions. They asked me my age, how many kids I had, all kinds of stuff. But we had a good time, and they sent me a card here. And on the inside are signatures. They're signatures from all of the kids. Shout out to Keston and to all of those kids. I'll be completely honest. That was a dope experience. It honestly was a dope experience to be first invited to talk to kids, and then to have an opportunity to spend a little bit of time talking with them, answering their questions. They wanted to know what was the most expensive book in my collection, how much the collection was worth. As you guys know, I didn't answer a lot of those questions, but I answered the ones that I could. I think we had a good time. Shout out to them. That was very, very cool. All right. So shout out to Keston for having me on, and also for this Pro Education copy of ASM issue number 185. I think I have like 3 or 4 copies of that because it's just a cool book. It's a cool book. You know me and ASM. So there you go. Man, they were not, some of them came up to the mic and they were like, "So how old are you?" How old are you? I mean, it was intense. It was probably one of the hardest interviews I've ever done, just because like you have to answer the question, like you have to answer it some way. So it was cool. It was a cool little thing. It was all right. It was all right. So I'm definitely privileged to have been given an opportunity to do that. All right. So unfortunately, Chuck, I did not have a whole lot of time because I was doing AR. I asked my wife what AR means. This is the reading curriculum for my boy. She didn't know what it meant, but it clearly means high stress situation. I didn't have a whole lot of time before the show because I was either doing yard work today, taking the kids to have ice cream to reward them, burning some lumber that was here on the property, or blowing leaves for the wife. She had me very busy all day today. Then I had to do AR. I did not have a whole lot of time to prep for certain things, but I did want to pull up my man, Bob Barker. Anytime I think about The Price is Right, I automatically think about this guy. I used to spend summers with my great grandmother in Roseville, Michigan, and she had me watching all of the daytime game shows. And Price is Right is one she watched. I actually watched it. I loved it. It's always about Bob Barker in my mind. And why do I have this up? I have it up because recently I released a video in which I showed you guys my Suga Box. These are some of the more expensive books in my collection. And during the, as I was about to film that, I had this epiphany of giving you guys an opportunity to win a cool book that had been given to me by guessing the value of the Suga Box. And so that's why I'm doing the whole Price is Right thing with my man Bob Barker. All right. So there were tons of guesses. I honestly don't know how many comments were on the video. I did not pay attention to that. Probably should have. But I basically opened it up. People gave me their prices. And David A., who is in the chat right now, my man David A., probably gave one of the best answers of all time. He gave one of the best answers of all time. He said the collection, the books were priceless, and he is spot on. David A., you, sir, spot on. Your name is on the list. You are literally on the list here. But what I did is I ran through and I found those people that came closest to the actual value of the Suga Box. And there were some people that were pretty darn close. There were folks that were pretty darn close. It was actually a little scary how close they were. The first person that was pretty close was BCL Star Dancer Supreme. BCL Star Dancer Supreme was within $1,375 of the actual value of the Suga Box. Pretty close. Pretty close. I think it was a woman. She was pretty darn close. Next up, the next closest person was within $1,082, and that was Fallen Hero EMI. Fallen Hero EMI was within $1,082. The winner of this Black Panther issue number 25, the 9.6 right here with white pages, is Masked Snow. Masked Snow, who is always around in the chat. I don't even know if he's in here actually, but Masked Snow came in and he was within $942.50. Yes, he actually bid a half number. He bid a half number. I chuckled at myself. I chuckled to myself when I read that. But his guess was $169,682.50. That was his guess, and he was within $942.50. Shout out to Matt Snow. Please send me an email to Regie@RegieCollects.com so I can bundle this up, Matt Snow, and get this dope book sent out to you. Shayna, thank you very much for hooking me up with the 9.8 and also for the 9.6 to give away. I will tell you, I'm extremely disappointed that this book never showed up on the top 10 CGC list because that book is gorgeous. I felt because it was one of these Gleason variants, I thought that it was going to get in there on the tails of ASM 55 when that was super hot. And then there was this book. Then I think it was the Carnage book. I thought it was going to get on the list. It never made the list. But thank you for hooking me up with the 9.8. And now Masked Snow. Masked Snow is the winner of that dope book. So shout out to him. All right. Let me take this off of the screen. One thing that I did want to do is that if you watch my recent tour video, if you watched the Suga Box video, you probably made note of some things in those videos. One of the biggest things that you may have noticed is that I am a huge fan of BCW products, a huge fan. BCW goes back literally to my first bags and boards and my first comic book boxes back in the 90s. I've been using their supplies literally since day one, probably because it was the thing that was in my comic shop at the time. And over the decades, they become a dominant force, no doubt about it. But you see, when you look at the room tour and the Suga Box, I am using a lot of BCW products. I want to say that probably 99% of my boxes in my collection our BCW, and I would say personal collection. The 100K collection is a little bit of a different story, but the personal collection, about 99% of it is in BCW boxes. I am a huge fan of this specific product right here. These are the short comic book bin boxes. These are the heavy duty acid-free plastic storage boxes that you see in all of my videos. They're not necessarily the most attractive thing, but these things are pretty sturdy. As you can see there on screen, you can actually stack these things. I think you can see that. Let me make sure you can see that. Yeah, you can. You can stack these things 6 high, which is great because they don't get that, indentation in the top of the paper box that you normally see. They stack pretty high. They're pretty stable. They have these wonderful little hand holds on either end of them. They have a locking mechanism, which is, I found that really helpful when my children were younger, just because they could not work the little locks that were on there. But these things are incredible. They really are. And so I wanted to make sure that I acknowledge them because BCW has been a supporter of the channel for a very long time. And they were instrumental in helping me and Doug to put out the Guide to Smart Comic Collecting. So I wanted to make sure that I acknowledged their product and their support. If you are interested in picking up these products or anything else from BCW, there is a link in the description of every one of my videos that will save you 10% on your order. I do believe that these are back ordered until around mid-May. It is an awesome product, no doubt about it. But again, you can save 10% by using the link in the description. And I think they also give a few bucks back to the channel. Nothing crazy, but a couple of bucks comes back to the channel, which probably gets turned into a comic that you ultimately will see in the video. There you go. All right, so that's that for BCW. And again, shout out to those guys. All right, let me go to the chat real quick. Yeah, man, if you don't snap those sides, it will be a disaster for you. I was talking to somebody recently about it, and I was telling them, they were like, man, this is harder than I thought. My comment to them was the first couple are a little difficult because you're trying to figure it out. But once you get past the first couple, you start cranking. You really do. And I can snap these things together perfectly in no time at all, but it takes a little bit of practice, just like anything else. It takes a little bit of practice, but Liger style is speaking from experience. I too have failed to properly snap a side or two, Liger. It's not good, okay, brother? It's not. Matt would say, it is not best dark hog holder on the market, no doubt. Little Turok #1. I heard, Pretty Fly, I heard you have a full box, a full BCW bin, a Turok #1. Nothing wrong with that. Let me see. 10% is key. Buy enough and you basically get a free product, says my man Philtastic. Shout out to you, brother. Definitely appreciate that. Frog Brawler. I use the BCW plastic band for my slabs. Man, I use them for the slabs. And I'm looking at, man, probably a half dozen right there of them. And then a lot of the collection is actually being converted over for the regular small, the small, which holds about 150 or so comics. I think the slabs holds, depending upon which company you go with, anywhere from like 28 to 30, if memory serves, because I believe in the Sugar Box, I was able to get about 30 in there. I'm trying to remember that video. I think there were about 30 in there, but there was also maybe 1 or 2 older CGC cases, which are thinner, and also a CBCS case, which was older and also thinner. So it was about 30, but let's just say 28 to 30 to be safe. All right. Let me see what else. Those BCW bins, brother, only have, if I had a bin for Top Cow, I would need that divider that comes with the BCW so that I could divide the Top Cow comics from all the other space that would be in the box. You know what I mean? I don't have a whole lot of Top Cow. Scrolling through the comments here. Let me see. Love the dividers, no doubt. They do come in handy. Snap into it like a Slim Jim. Donnie, hold on. So hold on. Donnie, I don't know if I should put your comment up on screen. Donnie, I don't know if I should put this comment on screen. It says, Reggie, after watching you for always say, my bad. I misread the comment. This is what happens during a live stream, bro. This is what happens. You misread stuff. Donnie says first. Okay, I'm with you. Reggie, after watching you for almost 2 years, I have finally caught a live show. Donnie, this is your show. It is dedicated to you, sir. Unless somebody else comes in that has been watching me for 3 years and this is then it's them. But for right now, Donnie, it's all about you, brother. No, I definitely appreciate it, my man. Doing the live shows, it can be hard. It can be hard, but definitely glad that you're here. Scrolling through the new long might have, man. Wait a minute. The new comic building might have to be a little larger with 100K long. Oh, my sweet Christmas. I could not imagine. I could not imagine that many. I'm gonna be completely honest. Let me see. I'm scrolling through some of the comments here. I'm scrolling through. Reggie could buy 100K boxes if he saw. Never that. As who was that made that comment? As David says, that collection is priceless, which means that it cannot be sold. Let me see. Reggie would have to move into the crowd. That's a lot. That's a lot of boxes. You know, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. The 100K collection is about 400 boxes or so. That's more than enough. Until I get the next collection, that's more than enough long boxes. At some point, I am actually going to buy another collection. What is that grading company on your Spider-Man book? So the Spider-Man book. Nope, wrong shoulder. This one right here. That is I think that was an early test graded book by EGS. My man, Tony Trebetta, I provided him with a lot of guidance, I think, and insight, a lot of conversation to help him figure some stuff out, give him my opinion on some stuff. But that was, I do believe, an early prototype of when he was trying to design his label. It is actually a blue label, but it was purple. But yeah, that's one of the Tony Trebetta early books. I wanted to go ahead and put that up there. The theme on the wall, after being for so long with the 9.8, I decided to do other books other than a 9.8. So that is the theme. I tried to work some DC in there because I didn't want to hear from Chris Bigger and Joe and some of those other DC guys. I wanted to put some DC up there. So I think there's a couple, maybe 4 DC books. I tried to represent for you guys. Scrolling through. What does BCW stand for? I absolutely have no clue. Just like what is AR on my boys' reading books, I have no clue. My wife said to me, the R is for reading. I said, yeah, I kind of figured that one. That did not go over well. It honestly did not. I've been firing them across the bow all day today. All right. So as I mentioned at the top of the show, there have been some crazy sales of comics over the last little bit here. In fact, 3 of the 4 highest priced comics of all time have actually sold in the last 8 months. And to say that aspects of the comic book market are on fire would be a tremendous understatement, because it has absolutely been on fire. Thank you guys for, is that what it is? Shut the front door. Is that what it is? Thank you. Another teacher. Thank you, brother. Because I asked her, she was like, no, that can't be right. You guys are wonderful. JLS is up in here. How you doing, brother? It is good to see you. All right. So crazy prices right now for comics. Someone actually sent me the last few minutes of this auction. And the price is ridiculous. I mean, but it is an amazing book. There is no doubt about that. Amazing piece of history. The price is ridiculous. The first issue of Captain America fetches $3.1 million at auction. And it says, with the sale, Captain America joins Superman and Spider-Man in having debut issues that top $3 million at auction. And in fact, it is Superman, Spider-Man, and Captain America that are the 4 books that have broken records over the last little bit. So let's look at this. It is a really nice book, no doubt about that. Scrolling through, it says a copy of the first. I'm being like my boy. I'm skipping over words. A copy of the first Captain America comic book featuring the memorable cover image of the superhero socking a stunned Hitler while fending off Nazi bullets fetched more than $3.1 million at an auction Thursday, becoming one of the world's priciest comic books. I clearly know where he gets it from. I really do. It says the Mirror Man copy of Captain America #1, the creation of Jack Kirby and Joe Simon, was dated March 1941, 9 months before the United States entered World War II. But this book was actually sold by Heritage Auctions down in Dallas. With this sale, it was this book that is the fourth highest priced comic book to sell at auction. It says Captain America joined Superman and Spider-Man in having debut issues that top $3 million at auction. The comic book is the highest auction selling price. First appearance. Wait a minute. The comic book with the highest auction selling price was the first appearance of Spider-Man, a near perfect copy of Amazing Fantasy 15, sold by Heritage in 2021 for $3.6 million. 2 copies of Superman's first appearance, Action Comics #1 from 1938, occupied the second and third spots. And then in fourth, we have this book selling for $3.1 million, which is ridiculous. The article kind of goes on to talk about how these sales that they're seeing, these record-breaking sales, are fueled by what is happening with the pandemic. It is partly pandemic, and it is partly all of the movies that are coming out that are driving people's attention to these amazing pieces of history and collectibles that are prompting people to actually snatch them up. So a crazy amount of money. I want to go to the chat here real quick to see what you guys think of this sale. And again, somebody actually sent me the last few minutes of the auction. And it was pretty rapid fire. It was pretty rapid fire. There was a bidder on the phone, and I think maybe somebody off camera. They may have been in the room, but it was like bing, 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 bing as the price kind of went up. It was quite entertaining. Now that seller can buy a full tank of gas, no doubt about it. It says that the seller wanted to maintain his or her identity, like their ambiguity, not ambiguity. I'm missing the word. Whatever the word is, they did not want to be known. They wanted to remain anonymous. And so we don't know who the person is that actually picked the book up. But what we do know is I believe that this very same comic actually came up for sale. And I'm trying to see if I can find it. It says in August of 2019, the same comic sold at auction for $915,000. And it says the buyer, who also wishes to remain private, was well aware of the increasing prices and authorized Heritage Auctions to put the copy back on the market. So the book was sold back in the day for $900,000 and is now sold for $3.1 million. I would take that all day long. I will take that all day long. What does that say? What is it? Evan says only 3.1 million. That's pennies compared to the old Sugar Box. If only, brother, if only that were true. I wonder if Golden bought that too. That's a good question, man. That's a good. Didn't he just get bought out? I thought it was what didn't Ken Golden get bought out by collectors? Didn't collectors actually buy him out? Because I feel like he is actually part of them now. Must be nice to have money, no doubt about it. Pretty Fly says he was gonna snatch it up, but he was holding out. He was holding out. David Wong, welcome. He says, new subscriber here. Love your content. You've helped rekindle my love for all things comics. David Wong, you are very, very welcome. Did you send me an email? Your name looks incredibly familiar to me. I will apologize. There were people that for the last couple of weeks have been sending me emails and they've been going to my spam folder, and I just discovered them. And talk about mad because I'm a huge fan of, if you leave a comment, if you send me a message, you get a response. And I found like at least 15 messages that I had not responded to. It was not a good day. It was not a good day when I discovered that. And I've tried to reach out to each and every single person that I missed and try to apologize and answer their questions. Scrolling through, Frog says that Cap book would be at the top of my dream book list. That's what's up, man. Scrolling back through the comments here. Thank you guys for welcoming David. I missed the grade of that. I think it is a 9.6, brother. This article failed to provide the actual grade. I was actually bouncing back and forth between 3 different articles, trying to find one that would serve my purposes best. And as I transitioned from looking at comic book articles or articles on comic book websites to one that was just mainstream news, you lose a little something. And what we lost was the nuance, was the grade. And I'm literally stalling here trying to find the one that was on one of the websites that actually gave the grade. But I do believe that it was a 9.6. Somebody in the chat, nope, I lied. It was a 9.4. It appears to be a 9.4 of that comic. So there we go. Sometimes a little fat goes a long way. And then Just Pele rolls in. Just Pele rolls in with all the answers. There you go, brother. I definitely appreciate that. Thank you guys for helping me answer some questions. There you go. Yeah, I'm not. No. Scrolling through. Let me see. All right, I think I'm all caught up. Liger says at least I have the Marvel Milestone reprint and the German reprint of that. That's what's up. Congrats, brother. You have to take your wins. Take your wins where you can find them. No doubt about it. For those folks that are coming in a little late, we actually announced the winner of the old Sugar Box Price is Right contest for this book right here, Black Panther issue number 25, the Gleason cover. We announced the winner was Masked Snow. He came within $942.50 of the actual value of the old Sugar Box. Shout out to Masked Snow. I don't know whether he watched the whole video, looked up each one of the comics and calculated the value, but he was within $900. I mean, that is actually pretty impressive. There were some other people that guessed some wild numbers, and I'll be honest, I wish that it were the numbers that some people guessed. I'll be completely honest. I wish that it were some of the numbers that people threw out there, but not at the moment. Let me see. I'm scrolling through some. I'm trying to read. And scrolling through, Reggie, what about the FF1 9.2 that went for 1.5? I'll be honest with you, Squirrel Madness. I think that you and I think Mark, you guys pay a lot closer attention to some of the auctions. I actually do not know about that sale. I'll be completely honest, brother. I don't know about that sale. But a Fantastic Four issue number 1, 9.2 went for 1.5. I feel it's a little low. I'll be honest. I feel like that price is a little low. And I feel that way because, you think about what some of these other books are doing, and I guess they are higher grade, right? You're talking about a 9.4 of Cap, a 9.6, I think, of Spider-Man. I can't remember the grades for the Superman book, but they were in that 9.2, 9.4 range, if memory serves. I feel like an FF1, given its importance to Marvel Comics and maybe to superhero comics generally, 1.5 seems relatively low. And that's saying a lot because FF1 has been extremely hot over the last let's just say 24 months or so. Extremely hot. So I don't know where that FF book falls on the census for CGC, and I'm assuming that it is a CGC book. I would be keenly interested in knowing how many higher grade books exist for FF1 if anybody is quick on the draw. Accelerated reading. There you go. Well done, brother. I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes I read the words And sometimes I glance completely over the words. No doubt about it. And again, I guess I cannot talk too much trash about my boy because he clearly gets it from his dad. All right, and FF should get more recognition as it is Marvel's first family. I do not disagree with that. I'll be honest with you though. Let's be honest about that. Let's be honest. Jess Pele says a 9.2 for an FF1 is very tough. That cover is a stain magnet, no doubt about it. Let's break this down. When was the last time somebody in here was excited about a Fantastic Four book? Like I cannot remember. I picked up the most recent relaunch of FF, and I think I was out after a couple of issues. I do not recall in recent history anyone being like, you gotta read this FF story. And I don't know why that is. I don't know why that is. Unlike maybe like Cap has had some good stuff. He's had some movies. Spider-Man, we had the whole Nick Spencer thing. Now we're coming out of the dark and we're doing pretty good right now. But arguably one of the most popular, iconic heroes out there, that being Spider-Man. Superman, the same thing. FF, great, history. But when was the last time somebody was excited about the FF? I don't know. And I would happily correct that if somebody throws out some stuff. Maybe I'm missing some stuff. What's the story on the X-Force 5.5? Where is that? Is that behind me? That right there. That right there is one of my earliest CGC submission mistakes. That's what that is. That is a reminder to myself that you should not just look at the front cover of the book. You cannot just look at the comic through the plastic and deem it good and send it off to CGC. No, you can't. That book on the backside, full of fingerprints right in the ink, right from the printer. Just thumbed it up, thumbed the whole back of the book up. A lot of my videos come from mistakes that I have made, seen people make, or I anticipate people making. That comic right there is a visual representation of a mistake. That's what that is. And I keep it and I stare at it, and it reminds me that you have to remain humble. You make mistakes, but you try to learn from those mistakes. Thank you, Baby Belly. That is an incredible name, Baby Belly. Incredible name. I love it. I absolutely love it. Let me see. Scrolling. I'm way behind. Let me see. And FF1, wish I was more aware back in the day to pick one up, says Liger. Brother, if we could only go back in time. If only we can go back in time. Frog Brawler says, yeah, that's absolutely true. I subscribe to almost everything Marvel, but do not subscribe to FF. FF is not bringing big bucks at auctions at all. Sadly, neither is Superman and Action Comics. Again, Mark is one of those guys that spends a lot of time looking at the auctions. I don't like the window shop. I don't like the window shop. If I'm looking, I'm trying to buy, and I'm gonna be completely honest. You guys heard about my project with Doug. That there's a reason why you haven't seen me unbox any expensive stuff, because Doug's sucking down all the money trying to put this comic together known as Isolation. Super pumped about this comic that will be coming out in July. But if you want to know why Regie hasn't unboxed a dope book, look no further than this guy right here. Look no further. Squirrel Madness FF1, 3 out of 9.2, 3 out of 9.4, and 2 out of 9.6 Blue Label. Sweet Christmas. Sweet Christmas. That is crazy. That is crazy. Oh man, I wish. If only I could go back in time and do some things all over again. I would tell you, I would go back to the 90s and I would spend way more than $20, because at the time that seemed like the most money in the world. That was like my limit. $20, I'm out. I wish I could go back and I could do it again, because it would be amazing. Isolation is Reggie's next Hulk. No doubt about it, brother. No doubt about it, because Regie is selling things and relying upon Patreon and Swoldier supply boxes, trying to make sure that all of the creators get paid, and we can put out a quality product. Doug, I wasn't supposed to tell you this, but I showed Patreon a sketch. I wasn't supposed to tell you. Tina told me not to tell you, but I posted it up, and I showed them a part of a page. Shout out to Patreon for keeping the secret. I couldn't hold it back any longer. I had to let Doug in on the secret. I had to let him in. What is that? Can a person subscribe for the comic, or will it be first come first serve? So Nosh, what we're gonna do, if you're talking about isolation issue number 1, what we are going to do is we will, as we get closer to July, we will have a pre-book phase. We will have a pre-sale phase where we are going to make all of the variant copies available for people, the regular cover A, the variant covers, and allow people to place their orders. They can order what they want. I mean, within reason, right? It'll be like if you want one of every cover, you can do that. It won't be this randomization that I did before, but there will be a phase in which people will be able to pre-order some items to make sure that they actually have their copies of Isolation. We announced it a little bit earlier than I was comfortable with, but that's okay. We have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. But as we get closer to July, more and more details will come out. I definitely encourage you guys to stay tuned to the channel and also to Instagram for all of those dribs and drabs. All right. So for those folks that came in a little late, we just finished up talking about the first appearance of Captain America selling for $3.1 million at an auction, joining the ranks of the first appearance of Superman, the first appearance of Spider-Man, as 4 of the most expensive comics. And 3 of those 4 have actually set records, all-time records in the last 8 months. Get them while they're hot. All right. One other thing I wanted to hit you guys to, I had a chance to finally watch episode 2 of Moon Knight. Episode 1, I will tell you, it captured my attention. I watched it the first time. I wasn't quite sure what I saw, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it way more than like WandaVision, right? Way more. But I wasn't quite certain what I had seen because of the nature of the show. I felt like it was a little choppy and disjointed, but that's what the show is. So I had to watch it again. The second time around, I was like, okay, I got this. I got this. I watched episode 2. It was incredible. I'll be completely honest with you. I absolutely loved episode 2. I may watch it again tonight, but I loved it. And not only did I love it, but it also gave me hope for what we might be able to see with other street level heroes like a Daredevil or a Punisher. It's good. If you guys have not seen it, I highly encourage you to check out Moon Knight. The suit, the Mr. Knight suit, as you see here on screen. That's why it's not a spoiler, because it's literally on screen. It really is a good show. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Moon Knight is phenomenal. Definitely read the Lemire run. 2016, I think it's going to have the biggest impact. I think that was when they revealed the Mr. Knight identity. Is that when that happened? I'm not that fluent in Moon Knight, so you guys may have to help me. Randy Resnake says Moon Knight is awesome. Moon Knight is the best MCU show, hands down. It's weird and different. Yes, it is. But what's crazy, Loki is the most watched, which I find fascinating because I did not enjoy Loki. I'll be completely honest. Did not enjoy it at all. Moon Knight rocks. I'm really digging it. Very different from all the other series and properties so far. And I think that is wonderful. I think that is wonderful that they are taking a slightly different approach, because this is a different character. It's a different type of character. Give him his own space to be what he is. And that seems to be what they're doing. And I think people are absolutely enjoying it. Let me scroll through some of the comments here. Love Moon Knight, says Eric. That's what's up. Scrolling through some of the comments here. I'm loving Moon Knight so far, says David Wong. Scrolling through. I love the first 2 episodes so far, says Squirrel Madness. Best of the Disney Plus shows so far, in my opinion. I would say Moon Knight is on Peacemaker level. I think the intro is better. I'm going to be honest with you, as I always am. The Peacemaker intro, I find it disturbing. I find it disturbing. I am not a fan of that intro. Not at all. Let me see. Baby Belly says, big fan. You got me back into comics 6 months ago, supporting you on everything 100%. I absolutely appreciate you being willing to buy the $1,000 variant that we will be dropping in July. I absolutely appreciate that, Baby Belly. Doug, make sure you write it down. We have Steve White, Moon Knight is awesome. No doubt about it. Not too sure about Mr. Knight in series though. Harm's Way, I don't know, man. I thought it was funny. And I don't think that we've seen the full Mr. Knight persona just yet. The Moon Knight fans will have to correct me on that. We've seen his ensemble, his wardrobe, but I don't know that we've actually seen that persona come out just yet. Oscar is indeed dope, no doubt about it. Scrolling through some of the comments here. All right, there was something else we're going to get to. There was one other comment that I was going to read one of the comments, but I won't do that. Somebody said the image was a little blurry. It might have been because it was a tiny image and I made it really big, so that might have been why it looked a little funky. Shout out to everybody that has picked up one of the Swoldier supply boxes. I put up a post, I want to say on Saturday, basically saying if a few more people sign up, I was going to throw in a couple of extra books. One of the books that I threw in, Moon Knight issue #1, and this is actually in one of those clear comic bags and boards. This is a bagged and board comic. It is a clear bag and board. You can see straight through it. This is one of the books that is going to be inserted into the Swoldier supply box this month randomly. For one lucky person, they're going to score that. I also dropped in a copy of X-Men issue #4. If we get a few more people signed up, there is a Turtle book that is sitting over there that will also be dropped in randomly, along with this awesome print, a trading card, and also a lapel pin, and some other stuff will be thrown in as well into each box. A bunch of bags and boards, some stickers, some other stuff. Check it out, regiecollects.com. All right, so we did that thing. The next thing I wanted to hip you guys to, another thing that I started reading, and Squirrel Madness hit it. I started reading She-Hulk, the new She-Hulk series. I started reading it with issue 1. I'm all the way through issue 3, and I'm honestly enjoying it. I've never really read She-Hulk before, but I'm really digging what they're doing with this She-Hulk comic right now. And so I don't know if this will actually tie in to the She-Hulk show that is eventually going to be coming on Disney Plus. They've been pretty radio silent about the She-Hulk show, but that could change any day now. But I started reading issue #1. I'm all the way through issue #3. I really enjoy it. In issue #2, they introduced or reintroduced a character that I had found this character's book in the 100K collection, and I did not pull it out. I was like, who cares, right? I saw it. I was like, that's cool. Let's put it back. Can't remember where I put it. But I read issue 2 and 3, and they introduced Jack of All Hearts. They introduced Jack of All Hearts, technically reintroduced to comics, and technically introduced me to him. He was in issue 2. He's in issue 3. This character is pretty interesting. He's a sympathetic character, no doubt about it. But it wasn't until I read his own comic. It wasn't until I actually read Jack of Hearts issue #1, which I think is from the 80s. I read issue #1 of this. It is so good. It is so good. There is no, he is, in the words of Comics Explained, he is OG. He is overpowered like nobody's business. I actually started reading issue 2, and then I had to go do yard work for the wife. But I'm going to go back after. I may watch again Moon Knight episode 2 again, but then I'm going to read issue 2 of Jack of Hearts. If you have not read this, I recommend you check it out. I think it's from the 80s. Don't ask me what year, but if you're reading She-Hulk, this is a really nice orientation, nice background, this book on Jack of Hearts. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And again, I cannot recommend it enough. Jack of All Hearts, that's vintage for sure. No doubt about it, Tina. I honestly wish I honestly wish I could actually find it in the 100K collection. I said it to my wife. I was like, this issue was so good. I wish I could find it in the collection. And I went out to the garage. I opened up a couple of bins, couldn't locate it. Couldn't locate it. And I'm regretting not pulling out Jack of Hearts issue number 1. Definitely a cool book. Eric says, absolutely vintage. I have a few. That's what's up. Let me see. I'm scrolling through some of the comments here. Liger style, Jack of Hearts. I think I have this, but did not read it. It is worth a read. It's worth a read. And I would tell you more, but I don't want to ruin it. But you know, the way he is portrayed in She-Hulk is, I think, pretty much rooted in how he shows up, at least in issue 1 of his own series. Now, what happened between that series and She-Hulk, right? Those 2 series in the 80s and now in 2022, I don't know. I see Phil Tastic saying that he was in Avengers Disassemble. I have no clue what had happened to him in between, but he seems to be very similar to the version of him that at least I saw in issue 1 of Jack of Hearts. So I'm going to read some more and we will see where this thing goes. All right, let me scroll through. Pretty Fly is headed out to dinner. It is good to see you, brother. Thank you for stopping by. I definitely appreciate it. It looks dumb at first glance. Eric, that's why I put it back in the box. I pulled it out. Jack of Hearts. No, that's stupid. Let me stick that back in there. Then I read it. Now I regret it. Never judge a book by its cover. Literally what I did. That is literally what I did. Shout out to those writers out there that have the ability to go back into history and make old characters relevant again. That to me is a really awesome thing when, you know, it's easy to create. And well, I'm using that term loosely, right? It's easy to create something. Little more difficult to pull something from the past, pull it forward, make it relevant again, and to prompt people to go look for that original source material. I don't know who the writer is, honestly, on She-Hulk, but whoever they are, Rainbow Rowell. Yeah, Rainbow Rowell, I think, is the writer. If that is indeed her, she's absolutely killing it because I'm enjoying it. And maybe it'll all spill over to the TV show. We shall see what actually happens. All right. So I think we're pretty close to the end here. Let me give you guys again a quick little rundown of some of the content that is going to be coming out from the channel. On Monday, we're going to be releasing the podcast, and it is available on most podcasting platforms. If you search for Regie Collects, you will probably find me there, and you can listen to dozens, if not 100 or so episodes of the show. We release an installment every single Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. In addition to that, we're going to be releasing 3 pre-recorded videos. Pre-recorded videos come out Monday, Tuesday, Thursday at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. The three videos are It's Okay to Overpay for Comics. The second, Winning at the Spec Game. The third, Secrets to Making the Hobby Work on Any Budget. And then the last thing that we're going to do this week is we're going to have the Comics Today show on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So there you go. That is all the content that is coming out from the channel. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me. I hope that you enjoyed this show. And if you did, I want to encourage you to go ahead and hit the thumbs up button because it is good for the algorithm. And again, shout out to Mass Snow for winning the awesome Black Panther comic. And shout out to Shayna for hooking us up. If you guys need me, I am not too hard to find. Just message me on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care.